Buckeye Nation was good. The spring game is coming up this Saturday. My co-host Rob is going to be down in Columbus at the game, getting you some live footage, getting you some awesome content. He'll be filming this weekend. Let us know if you're going this weekend. I've heard they're having a little bit of trouble selling tickets, so they've just with their couple announcements they've made. I've heard they've been really struggling with that end, so it might not be as full as we're quite used to it being, because they called it the Spring Showcase originally, and now it's back to the spring game. I'd love to hear what things that you're looking forward to. A couple things that I'm looking forward to. What I want to cover today is obviously the quarterback battle. We've heard a lot about that over the last 2.5 weeks. Sagan and Keenholz. St. Clair not really in the picture yet, just as a true freshman, only been on campus for a couple months. But yeah, that's certainly number one, because it's a hotly contested, hotly debated thing in Buckeye Nation right now. You have to kind of read between the lines with Ryan Day and what he's been saying so far. And I personally think that Sagan is the leader, but Keenholz has definitely outperformed him in these practices. And he's making a case for himself to be known. But I also think there's a little bit of coach speak going on with Ryan Day too, because how volatile the transfer portal is. You got to be mindful of what you're saying, putting out there to the media, but also be truthful and honest with your quarterbacks and with your players that you have, because you can't lose that trust. That's for darn sure. How do these quarterbacks respond to playing in front of people for basically the first time for Sagan? He only threw 9 passes last year. And how do they perform versus BIA, the best secondary in America? We're going to find out. And we're definitely going to overreact to it, as Buckeye Nation always does. Day doesn't usually do this, but he said there will be live hitting at the spring game for the first couple drives. And so that's exciting to hear. We'll get to see at least some of the starters. Obviously, they're split up between teams, but we're able to see who can hit. Heard some good things out of Peyton Pierce. Heard some good things out of young buck Riley Pettijohn at linebacker. So it's going to be really interesting to see some thumping pads out there for the first time in the Ryan Day era in the spring game, at least for a couple drives anyway. Now, obviously, the D-line and the whole units are going to be split up, so it's really hard to get a grasp of what each positional unit looks like. But the D-line looks to be the weakest position group, having to replace all 4 starters on that defensive front. How are they going to hold up against the offensive line that's getting retooled as well, losing multiple starters as well? So the battle in the trenches, what Ryan Day has been criticized for his entire career, that's going to really come into question this year, I think. Hopefully not back to the forefront of the conversation in people's minds. So those are a couple things I'm looking forward to about the spring game. I wish I was going. I got some family matters to attend to this weekend. But yeah, it should be a little bit more sparse crowd than normal, but a huge recruiting weekend. Looking for some booms on Twitter for Buckeye Nation Explode with a couple commits this weekend. And also to see the championship rings presented. Give me sweet. Crown them, boys. Ring them. Ring them. Ring them. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad Ohio State decided to participate in the spring game, because there's a lot of what I call kind of nonsense going on around spring games. I understand coaches' perspectives with the volatility of the transfer portal that I addressed earlier, but this is a huge day for the fans. Lower income people that can get to the stadium, take their kids for a cheap day, at Ohio Stadium. And I always went I went every year just about under Jim Tressel in the first couple years of Meyer. And then, of course, we went last year as well. But anyway, if you're going, enjoy the game. If not, enjoy from home in the use of your bathrooms and the 65-inch, 80-inch TVs that I've seen around people's homes. But yeah, anyway, go Bucks and God bless. We'll see you on the next one. Looking forward to the overreactions from Buckeye Nation from the spring game.